Okay, good. Some other people who know what Robina is. Now, a good example of some of the bizarre shops we have here. To the right, the Toronto Hemp Company, selling everything to do with marijuana except for the drug itself. And then next to that, a health food store. And next to that, a shoe shop. Okay. Sort of strange. Very bizarre neighbours. You might be interested as to how this is legal. Well, it is illegal to buy or sell marijuana in Canada, but it's not illegal to smoke it. You just can't get hold of it in any legal manner. So hence why there's a like bar near Vapor Central. You can take your own drugs and smoke them there. We've somehow magically managed to get access to them. I don't know. So lots of bizarre stores up here. No zoning restrictions, as I said. Brass rail to our right, a memorial to the fine women who died building railway systems here in Canada. No. There's a couple of these. We've already passed two of them. You may have not noticed them though. This strip gets very, very near. There's a lot of cheap souvenirs, cheap sports jerseys. The further north you go on Yonge Street though, the more affluent the area becomes, the more expensive the shopping, the maybe nicer the establishments, and the more parks there are. And Yonge Street does stretch north for quite a while because it's actually used to be the longest street in the world. Now, it doesn't actually hold that record any longer, but that's not because it got any shorter, it's just because it changes its name halfway along its length to Highway 11. So the Guinness Book of World Records doesn't consider it one street, but it's still very long. It would take you about 48 hours if you wanted to, so 48 days if you wanted to walk it.
Awesome. Yeah. Wow. You've driven it, you don't think you're driving it? Oh, you live on the other end of it? Nice. Good to see you.
We didn't walk.
Thanks for walking.
So, to give you an example of the way in which the shops become slightly more expensive as you go up Yonge Street, here we are at Yonge and Bloor. Now, as we go across the intersection, take a look to the left, and you'll be looking down what is known as the Mink Mile. It's actually one of the most expensive shopping districts in the country. Is anybody hoping to hop off at stop number 5 for Yonge and Bloor? Nobody. Nobody wants to be shopping at Louis Vuitton? Prada? Gucci? Swarovski? No. Okay, no stop request. There we go, just to the left, that's the Mink Mile. Because it's got black Italian granite in the sidewalk. Regular sidewalks are just made of concrete, but on the Mink Mile, black Italian granite. I guess they just get a taxi to the edge of the Mink Mile. Now, on the right-hand side here, this red brick building, this is the Toronto Public Reference Library.
Did you drive down Yonge Street? Did you just drive all the way up? That would have been amazing. I bet it's the longest route.
Yeah, it's about a 20-hour drive.
Right.
So we actually have the highest circulation of books of any city in the world. A very, very active library system, very well read here in Toronto. But of course this is a reference library, so most of the books here are for reference only. Now we're turning into Yorkville, and Yorkville used to be a separate town before it was annexed by the city. It even had its own town hall. It used to sit just to the right where the hedges and trees are, but guess what happened? It burned down, absolutely. Another ironic thing, because there's 2 doors down, is the Yorkville Fire Station. And that was there when the town hall was there. But they were just sitting out the front. No, I don't know what they were doing that day, but sadly they only managed to salvage the stone coat of arms, and you can see it above the top of their door on the clock tower there, pride of place. Now, just to the right of us here, the Four Seasons private residences. This is a 5-star hotel on the lower levels, and then private residences as you move up the building. The suites start at $2 million, and the penthouse sold for a Canadian real estate record. I know some of you have been on the tour before. Can anyone remember or guess how much it sold for? Any ideas? No? $28.6 million. $28.6 million. Nearly $30 million. That's the most that anyone's paid for a residential property anywhere in Canada. And it's not a house, it's just a condo. So it's 9,000 square feet, 3 stories, private staff quarters. They actually get an infinity pool right on the roof, which is surrounded on 3 sides by glass, so they can pretend they're swimming in the sky. They get a refrigerated closet to keep their fur coats cold. As we all know, mink will deteriorate if you don't keep it frozen. They also get a his and hers library, in case they're embarrassed by their spouse's book collection. And they get a private elevator, so they don't have to mingle with the riffraff that just paid $2 million for their apartment. Because those guys are the worst. I never hang out with those guys. Well, we don't know who bought it. All we know is that they were an anonymous international buyer. So I'm assuming they are going to be on the bus at some point. So if it was any of you guys, you can just let me know afterwards. We'll grab a coffee. Now there's rumours that maybe it was the person that invented Angry Birds, the iPhone app. Who knows? That's how you make your fortune these days, make a 99-cent app. But whoever it was, they're going to be able to shop at Pusatari's on the left-hand corner there with the black awnings. Some very high-end grocers. They sell a pound of coffee there for $480. Yes. But don't worry, it's been pre-digested by a marsupial for your pleasure. The animal is actually called, it's a paradoxurus. A paradoxurus. Is that right, Ksenia? Yeah. It's true. It's called a paradoxurus. Which I think is an unusual name for a creature, but it perfectly sums up the coffee, right? The most expensive coffee in the world, yet it has been eaten, digested, and excreted by an animal. How the other half live, eh? You can try it there. I mean, they sell coffee there as well. If I'm making it sound appealing. Then we do have a stop in York. You can also get valet service at Pusatari's, the only valet service you can get at grocers here in town. So you might have guessed from those price tags, it's a pretty affluent area. And I stopped to explore Yorkville, where you can get some of that wonderful coffee. Anybody hopping off to stop number 6? Nobody from up top. Now, just to the right of us, this red brick building, this used to be a folk cafe called the Purple Onion Cafe, and is where the song Universal Soldier was written. By Russell St. Marie. It went on to become an anthem for the Vietnam peace movement. And a musician called Zal Yanovsky also worked as a waiter here. He went on to form the band The Loving Spoonful, and they did the song Summer in the City. Summer in the City, yeah. You guys know. That's all I know of it, so. While he was sleeping and living in a dryer at a laundromat. So there's hope for everyone. Now, to help you orient yourselves, we're at the other end of the Mink Mile. Okay? Oh, guys, the most controversial piece of architecture in the city. Woo! I jotted down the design for the crystal on a napkin after being inspired by the gem collection at the ROM. Now we're next to Varsity Arena here, home to the Varsity Blues. This is the University of Toronto Sports Department. The football team here, and I mean football in the North American sense, the kind you play with your hands, it's so called because the ball apparently is a foot in length. So you learn something new every day. The football team here is notoriously bad. Celebrated so hard that everybody thought they'd won a tournament. They just won a game. Rochdale College was trying to critique the methods of education at other establishments in the city. You could buy a degree at Rochdale. You could get a bachelor's degree for $25 and one question would be asked of you. For $50 you could get a master's degree and you could choose the question. For $100 you could get a PhD, no questions asked. Whoa, where did that come from? Guys, a seagull has just deposited a piece of bread in the middle of the bus. Who wants it? It's a gift from the gods. That is crazy. Thank goodness it didn't hit anybody. Oh, straight into the bin. Now we're turning up Spadina. Now Spadina, the word for this street comes from a Ojibwe word, a native word, Ishpadina. That means the gently rising slope. So we are going uphill now. Probably won't notice it that much on the bus. Pretty much all of Toronto is built on an uphill slope north from the lake is the annex. Home to a lot of students, actually. They club together in groups of about 12 to afford the rent on these large properties. You can usually tell which houses belong to students and which belong to families by the length of the grass out the front, and whether there's any rogue pieces of furniture on the lawn. We do have some families still living in this area, also some celebrities. Does anyone know Margaret Atwood? No, this game again. How about Rachel McAdams? Come on. Star of The Notebook? Mean Girls? Sherlock Holmes? David Ryan Gosling? Okay, anyway. She lives in this area as well. And actually, Mike Myers and Jim Carrey both have houses in this neighborhood too. Both Canadian. And there's my house up ahead. No, I wish. This is Casa Loma. That translates to mean the house on the hill, but of course it is not a house. It is a castle. But it was actually built as a residential property. It was built by Sir Henry Mill Pellet. Now, Sir Henry Mill Pellet made his money from electricity. He distributed electricity throughout the city, and he founded the Toronto Electric Light Company, and by the age of 30 he had a monopoly on that business. And he was making an absolute fortune. Of course, the first thing you do when you make a fortune is build a castle. He actually built it as a gift for his wife, Lady Mary Dodgson. Anyone else get a castle this year? There's still time, guys. The year's not over. Start dropping hints now. Might get a sandcastle by the end of the year. Okay, we're going under the lowest bridge in the city, guys, so it's really important that you stay seated. Please keep your hands down. It is very low. I don't want you to lose your cameras. Okay, we're good to go, Jordan. Okay, we made it. Everyone's still got their heads. So keep the cameras out there, because as we're going to turn left here, and on your right hand side you're going to get a photograph, or a chance for a quick photo of the castle. It's not up this first driveway, but the second one, which has got all the gate matches as well, guys. So just a very quick glimpse here. Jordan's racing. Once you're already in, you can stay until 5. So it is a good... 4 o'clock is 2 minutes away. You may make it up. If you don't, the next bus will be here in 20 minutes, so it's worth a try. You can still get photos of the garden and from outside. It's a 2-minute walk up the hill, so that's actually spot on, really. Okay, guys, this is stop number 7. Like I say, if you get there and they turn you away, then just come back down the hill and you'll probably be in time for exactly the next bus.
Thanks very much.
No worries.
Can I speak up here?